Okay, now are you ready for the multiplication schedule or multiplication table? Multiplication table, very, very, very important, very, very exciting, very, very easy to learn. The many, many numbers of multiplications. Now we have columns here. This is columns, column 1, column 2, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, column 6, etc., etc. And then we have rows. These are row 1. I didn't highlight good. These are rows. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, etc. Now, how do we learn multiplication? Well, it's very easy. Okay, you take number from here. Let's start with 2. You take number 2. 2 times 2 is 4, which is underneath the number you started with. So this 2 times this 2 equal 4, which it has to be under the number we started with. Now 3, this one here, 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. See how easy it is? So 5 times 2 is 10. This one here. Underneath the 5 you started with. 6 times 2, 12. This 6, you take this number from here and you multiply it by this number here in the column to get 12. 7, this 7 times this 2 equal what? Equal 14. 8 times 2 is 16. 9 times 2 is this one here, 18. Right? Okay. Now, we use this first row to finish the next answers. So we have 1. If we get 1 times 3, this is times this one here times 3, which is what? 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Remember, it has to be the same. The answer is corresponding to this. Corresponding to the number you started with. 2 times 3. 6. 3 times this one here is 9. And then we have 4 times 3 is 12. And 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 3 is 18. 7 times 3 is 21. So you take all these numbers in the first row and you multiply it by all of these numbers by any number in the first column. And the answer goes here. This is the answer. So 1 times 1 is 2, right? 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6, and so on. So now, let's do number 6. So this row here, let's do 6. 1 times 6 is 6, right? First number of the row, first number of the first row times the sixth number in first column. So 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12. Remember, it has to be under the same corresponding number. 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 6 is 18, 4 times 6 is 24, which is this one here. 5 times 6 is 30, which is one here. So, and so on and so forth. You have to practice as much as you can. You have to practice as much as you can. It might be little confusing at the beginning. It's not too much, but then you will get it, right? You will get it because you are such a smart boy and such a smart girl, right? Okay, so do practice, or then you have multiplication tables. You can go through that also, like you know, you can do 5 times 2, 10, 6 times 2, 12, 7 times 2, 14, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 1 is 5. But, you have to go through all of these tables, and you have the multiplication table, which is easier for you. It's practice, practice, practice. You will learn a lot with a lot of practice, all right? Okay. I will see you next video. I will see you next video. But my question for this video is, what is